We got a red dot, folks. Welcome back to Akron's hottest and fastest growing show, 3 Throw to Go. I'm your host, Hank, and I'm coming to you live. We're going to be talking loud because we got a freezer that keeps talking over us, all right? So I'm here at the Good Samaritan Hunger Center. It's located on the property at St. Sebastian's Parish in West Akron. And I am here with Michele. Michele, hi.
Hi, Frank.
Hey, good to meet you,
Yes.
all right? So after talking the last time we actually met, which was at
Shamus
Malik's. See how I said it right there?
Party, yes.
The victory party. Shamus Malik. Shamus Malik. It's not Seamus Malik. Shamus Malik. All right. So we were at the coverage for that, and that's where we met initially. And she said, "Hey, story. Tell us about you."
Okay, so I was born and raised here in Akron. I school, and I'm a graduate of St. Vincent St. Mary High School.
Won't hold that against you. That's
Thank you.
okay.
That's all right. I still like the blue school too.
All right. You didn't even name it. I love it. All right. Go on.
Yeah, and so grew up here in West Akron. Worked in nonprofits in the area.
And you're telling me that is not the case.
It is not part of St. Sebastian's. We are housed on St. Sebastian's campus. Way back in the early 80s, Father Byrider, who was the pastor, was so kind to give this space to Good Samaritan Hunger Center. But we are our own standalone 501c3, so we are our own nonprofit.
Okay.
We have no religious affiliation.
Okay.
And anybody that needs food can come to us.
All right, so now let's talk about that aspect. All right, so he says 41 years now you guys have been doing this. And you've been here since, what,
2016, but I know the history.
Right. So when it was initially founded, obviously they were like, okay, well, where do we get our food and who do we give it to? So talk us through that process.
Okay, so Good Samaritan Hunger Center grew out of the Catholic Commission.
Okay.
All right. They wanted to respond to hunger in the city's southwest side. Coincidentally, at that time, Sister Jordan Haddad was part of the Catholic Commission. She had been a principal at the Elms. She helped found Access, the women's shelter, and she founded Good Samaritan Hunger Center. Coincidentally, she is my cousin.
Okay.
But I didn't have any affiliation at that time, like I was in high school then.
Okay.
But she was really concerned about hunger in the area, and she wanted people to be treated. So how Good Samaritan Hunger Center started, it was a potluck hot meal.
Okay.
Where volunteers would make the dishes, go to Providence Baptist Church over on the corner of Orrin and Madison Avenue, and they would feed people like once a week.
Okay.
And then it grew, and at that time was, you got this pantry, you got that pantry, and we all have $1,000. But if we pooled 5 pantries together, we have $5,000, and that lets us buy more for our buck.
Okay.
So that was the premise of the food bank at that time. Now, of course, the food bank has grown, and they do a wonderful job. We are still a partner of the Akron Regional Food Bank.
Okay.
And 98% of the food that we get comes from the food. Sometimes don't know is that we do pay for some of the food from the food bank. Now, there's lots of food that's free.
Okay.
But there's also food that we pay for.
Okay.
So, when people say, oh, you just get it all for free. Well, we don't. We pay, it's called a shared maintenance fee. And it depends. Sometimes the cost will be like, if you wanted this can, it used to be called the projects. I hate to. Those don't exist anymore. So, as those were morphing into what they are now, Good Samaritan Hunger Center moved into the community centers that are part of the Parks and Rec.
Okay.
And so now, Good Samaritan Hunger Center primarily is a mobile food pantry. We'll talk more about it in a minute or so. But that's how we feed people. And we do that 3 times a week during the winter right now. We'll be picking back up our 4th. Right now we have one on temporary hiatus because at Ed Davis Community Center, they're building a whole new community center, so we can't use the parking lot. Okay. So, the whole idea is that we have a parking lot, we set up, and, we pass out the food. We try to give away probably 20 or so out. People, as long as they meet some income guidelines that are established by the federal government, and they say they need it, we don't double check it or whatever, because people's circumstances change. For example, I've lived, where job where I was making, $70,000 a year, but when I got laid off, guess what? I was making, So that's another thing. So that's called food rescuing in the food world. And so we are really fortunate that we have partnered with several businesses in the Akron area, and we pick up, like day-old bread. Maybe they ordered too much and they don't want to just let it go to waste or whatever, because we have a huge food waste problem in this country where a lot of times restaurants or bakeries or whatever, they don't really want to deal with even packaging it up for somebody to rescue it. But those who are willing to package, how it falls to Market District, and then we are partners to rescue Starbucks. Only thing we don't get from Starbucks is coffee, because they sell their coffee, but they have their they have baked goods and they have little salads and things like that. So we rescue them. The important thing is we try and maintain temperature control for everyone. We don't give away anything.
Oh, there we are. All right. So how do people get involved?
Okay, so if they want to, there's two ways. Okay, so if you need food and you want to come, all you need to do is you can go to Good Samaritan. Our kids bag program, where we feed 2,200 kids twice a month in Akron Public Schools. We send them home with a bag of food to get them through the weekend.
Mm-hmm. So that's you guys.
That's us.
Okay.
So we're one of those. Some people call it. There are other entities in the community that do it. Like there's a Blessings in, but so. Want to volunteer for us, we welcome volunteers. We have all kinds of opportunities. We have opportunities here in our kitchen. We have opportunities to help us pass out food in the community. We have a garden where we grow food to give away to people during the summer. Our starting tomorrow is going to be to the food bank. Then we pick it up from the food bank and we pass it out. Most of that produce needs to be used within a couple of days. But it's great stuff. And then we also get like cooked foods, like say we're just okay.
All right, so this is take two. We're back with Michele right now. What I'm going to do, folks, is I'm going to splice that video together with this one so that we have it ready to go in one take on YouTube. All right. So back to the question I asked you: where does the food come from? How do you guys go about getting the food?
Okay, so we get 90% of our food, 95% of our food from the food bank. Some of it we pay for, some of it is free through the food bank. We also rescue food from restaurants and grocery stores in the area. Sometimes an entity will choose to do a canned food drive for us. For example, during Lent, St. Hilary's collects canned goods and non-perishables for us, and then they give it to us. So, or people, say, hey, can I donate something? And they donate food to us. And I very rarely ever turn down food. The only thing is I won't take your leftover food from your picnic.
Right.
So to get involved with Good Samaritan Hunger Center, if you need food, please come to us. Look us up on the web. We have a mobile site too, GoodSamaritanHungerCenter.org. There's schedules listed there because we don't serve anyone out of our offices here at 420 South Hawkins. We take the food into the neighborhoods. So their schedules are there. If you need food, come. I've never turned anybody away who says they're hungry, because you don't know someone's circumstances, and people shouldn't go hungry.
And I think that one of the parts we lost is tell folks how you guys are structured. You got in terms of employees and volunteers.
Yeah,
and all that.
So we are structured that we are small but mighty. We have 2 full-time employees, 2 part-time employees, and a host of volunteers, over 300 volunteers per year. Last year we recorded something like 6,000 volunteer hours. So, that's the equivalent of 3 full-time people. So that's a way to get involved with us. And if you want to volunteer, again, go to our website. There's a volunteer link there. Click it, and Ramona or myself will be in touch with you.
Is there age requirement or limit? Mostly because I'm asking if kids can get community service hours and that kind of stuff.
So yes, community service hours are available for us. Anybody 14 and older can come without a parent, and they can volunteer for us. If they're under 14, we ask them to bring a parent with them, just because it's hard for us to manage everything, and sometimes kids need a little bit of help or coaching, and their parents are the best people to provide that.
Where can we find all your stuff online?
All of our stuff online is at www.GoodSamaritanHungerCenter, all one long word,
Okay, and then you guys have Facebook?
We do have Facebook.
Do you have Instagram too, or no?
We have an Instagram that's linked to our Facebook. We don't use it that much.
Okay, so
we don't have a social media person here, and eventually we'll grow to that, hopefully. But right now, the best way is through our website or through Facebook.
And what's the phone number?
Phone number is 330-864-8520. If you don't get an answer, please leave a message. We do return calls. If you need to know where we are in the community and you can't look us up on the web, if you call 211, they'll be able to tell you where we are.
All right, well, that sounds great. Thank you so much for bringing me in and giving me a chance to share your story. Like I said, what I'll do, folks, is I'm going to take this video, I will splice it together with the original live that we had and make that into one YouTube video and then share that. All right, but thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks for having us. Everybody, take care, folks. Have a good night, everybody. And everybody out there, say good night, Shirley.